Hey everyone, this week I've been driving this 2022 Volkswagen Taos. This thing is all new for 2022. It's Volkswagen's all new small SUV. It's designed specifically for the North American market. This fits into Volkswagen's SUV lineup beneath the Tiguan. This would be considered a subcompact SUV, though I should mention that it's on the large side. It has cargo volume on par with the Kia Seltos, which is another big subcompact SUV. And in terms of cargo space, it's not far off from the Toyota RAV4, which is considered a compact SUV. Volkswagen's strategy with its SUVs, I think, is to make them a little bit bigger than the competition as a value add. So like the Atlas is a little bit bigger than most three-row midsize SUVs. The Tiguan is a little bit bigger than most compact SUVs, and in fact, you can get it with a small third-row seat. And then the Taos here is a little bit bigger than most subcompact SUVs. So on that note, let's do a tour of the Taos and then take it for a little drive. So this one here is a well-optioned SE model. There's S, SE, and SEL trims. This one is an SE, but it comes with a few options. This color is called Cornflower Blue. It's got black wheels, which are part of a black wheel package. It says Taos here on the fender. Color looks really good in the sunlight. This color was offered on the GTI a couple of years back. Around back here, you can see it says SE. And then it says Taos at the base of the rear liftgate here. That's a new model name placement for VW. And then over here, there's a 4Motion badge. It looks like VW has adopted a new font for its badges. Not a lot to see back here. It looks like you could get a hard cargo cover. This one doesn't have it, but there are provisions for attaching a hard cargo cover back here. So I'm assuming that's available as an accessory. There's a 12-volt outlet here. This cover feels really cheap. It's not hinged, it's just plastic that bends when you open and close it. We've got a really small space saver spare tire there. And then a nice thing is this pass-through here. If you need to haul skis or 2x4s, you can put them through the middle seat there without having to fold the entire second row down. Before we climb inside, one thing I noticed, this door handle feels really cheap. I mean, look at that. Put a little bit of torque on it and it bends pretty easily. I owned an old GTI, it was a 2011, and the door handles on that vehicle were sublime to use. I know this is a little thing, but those door handles on my old GTI gave a real impression of quality. Here on the Taos, quite the opposite. Also, we've got a little button here for the passive keyless entry system. We're seeing most competitors use a built-in kind of touch-sensitive pad here, so a lot of cost cutting going on with this door handle. Taking a look at the window sticker, and this is a 2022 Volkswagen Taos SE, but like I said, it has a few options. Every Taos uses a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. It makes about 150 horsepower, nothing to write home about there. As equipped, this one comes in at $32,380 when you factor in that $1,195 destination fee. Fuel economy is rated by the EPA at 25 city, 32 highway, and 28 combined. The Taos is built at Volkswagen's plant in Puebla, Mexico. Starter button is on the center console here. The interior is aligned with Volkswagen's current interior design language, just like the exterior of this vehicle. You'll notice that this is actually a dark blue trim here, so it runs from the door panels across the dash over to the other door panel. The infotainment system is fine. It's a little bit low resolution. It's probably time for Volkswagen to update that. This one has a fully digital gauge cluster, at least for the most part, it's fully digital. So the screen is right in there and overall looks fine. Steering wheel design's pretty nice. No paddle shifters on this one. The button layout in the tactile feel of the buttons is pretty good though. One thing I don't love are these HVAC controls. On every other Volkswagen product that I've been in, they've used a higher end part right here, but it seems like they designed the Taos with cost savings in mind. So you'll notice that one's particularly bad. Yeah, clearly they used a lower end part here than they do in other Volkswagen vehicles. On the center console, not a lot going on. You've got an electronic parking brake and then an on-off button for the start-stop system. A lot of blank switches elsewhere there. And then you do get a few different terrain modes. You've got off-road mode, a custom mode, then there's a snow mode. And then you push the button here and that brings up, I thought it did. There we go. You've got some different driving modes for on-road driving as well. Eco, normal, sport, and then a custom setting. With all-wheel drive, the Taos gets a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic, though I don't feel that's really engineered for performance as much as it is economy. I had a dual-clutch automatic in my old GTI, and that transmission was really fun. Take away paddle shifters, though, and take away a performance-oriented engine and suspension, and the DSG really just feels like a regular, everyday automatic. Let's quickly take a look in the second row. And wow, there is a ton of space back here. Like I said, this would likely be cross-shopped with other subcompact SUVs, like say the Kia Seltos, Jeep Compass, but as far as interior room goes, the Taos offers space on par with many compact SUVs. Here's a view of that pass-through from the second row here. Easy enough to just clip that into place. And then there is a center armrest with 2 cup holders and then Volkswagen's trademark, call it an espresso can holder. Nice big panoramic sunroof in this one that lets a lot of light in, even with the shade closed. You'll notice that it is somewhat translucent. Over here you've got grab handle, light, then on the door panel, not a lot to see. One-touch up and down functionality for every single window switch in this vehicle. That's a nice value add there. The Taos exclusively uses USB-C. That's nice to see. It makes the vehicle feel like it's really set up for the future, but there's a little, tiny little slot here, not very useful. 2 HVAC vents, and then like I said, USB-C port. Then there are map pockets on both of the front seat backs. Often in a vehicle of this caliber, you'll only see that on one rear seat back. This car really likes to beep if you open the door with the engine running. All right, the 2022 Volkswagen Taos. Suspension in this thing feels pretty firm. That's something that Volkswagen is known for. They sacrifice a little bit of comfort and smoothness to give you a more engaging, somewhat sportier driving experience. I like that until you get on a bumpy road with a lot of potholes, and it's a little bit jarring. There's 50 miles per hour, so it's not fast, nor does it feel like this dual clutch automatic transmission is programmed for performance. There was a long pause in between shifts there. I don't know if you could tell in the video, but my old GTI with the DSG had lightning fast shifts. This felt opposite that. It does seem like the Taos was designed with cost savings in mind. You've got a really gross hard plastic dashboard top here. Over on the door panel, there is some soft touch material, and then this is, I'm assuming, a vinyl, but there's more hard plastic pretty high up on the door panel. These seats are like a neoprene material. I really don't like it. Whether it is or not, it feels hotter. It feels like you get sweaty faster in this vehicle than you do fabric or leather seats. Handling's pretty nice. Steering is light, and the turbocharger is nice around town at lower speeds. That was our first pothole. That was at about 24 miles per hour. You definitely felt the harshness of the suspension there. This one was at 28 miles per hour. That's a little bit faster than I normally go over that one. Wasn't too bad. Still though, suspension is on the firm side. One more here. Ooh, that one was at about 27 miles per hour. Again, a little bit faster than I normally go, but really didn't feel too bad. Backup camera is pretty bad. Volkswagen rivals Toyota for the worst backup cameras in the industry. So there's your look at the 2022 Volkswagen Taos. This is Volkswagen's new entry-level SUV. Like I said, it is somewhat large. I mean, the back seat is pretty big. Cargo area is coming close to what you get out of the compact Toyota RAV4. This vehicle feels pretty cheap inside. Like Volkswagen went to the trouble of installing a new HVAC control set that, to me, clearly was done just so that they could use a lower cost part. The dashboard and the door panels use a lot of hard plastic, and then the door handles feel really, really cheap. I could see almost ripping them off if you try to open the door with the door locked. But on the positive side, you get a lot of value from this thing in terms of its size. It's kind of fun. I like this cornflower blue exterior color. Surprisingly, they don't charge you extra for that color, so hey, that's fun, I guess. The infotainment system is fine. A little bit on the dated side, but as far as interior ergonomics and layout go, I give this car a thumbs up. Price might be a little steep. This one isn't even fully loaded, and it comes in at just over $32,000. So value, I guess that's up to you. But overall, that is your look at the 2022 Volkswagen Taos. Thanks for watching.